New Year's Eve, I stood outside my own door 3 times, yet never truly managed to walk inside. It wasn't a broken lock or wrong key. The door itself simply disappeared right before my eyes. My parents laughed, saying whoever arrived home first would own the house. Simple and fair at first, looking back now. Their smiles had already decided everything long before that. Rule even began to matter. I stepped into the elevator, pressed 20, feeling that slight lift as the cabin smoothly ascended upward. The numbers climbed steadily, 19, 20, nothing unusual. The rhythm calm and completely predictable to me. With a soft ding, the doors opened. But what I saw waiting outside was still the ground floor. I didn't move immediately, not from calmness, but because my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. I even stepped out slightly, cold air brushing my face. The lobby doors open, everything unchanged. I stepped back inside, pressed 20 again, repeating everything carefully, trying to confirm what just happened. The same ascent, the same numbers, the same rhythm. And once again, the exact same result. Doors opened, and it was still the ground floor, as if nothing had ever changed at all this time. I didn't check surroundings again. I turned immediately and took the stairs instead, counting each floor slowly, afraid I might miscount, forcing myself to stay painfully precise and focused. 10 floors, 15 floors, 20 floors. I paused at the door before pushing it open carefully. Nothing changed. It was still the ground floor, identical in every detail to before without exception. What I felt then wasn't fear, but something stranger. Like the process was right, but outcome rewritten, as if every step I took was correct. But someone altered the result before I could reach it. I started repeating everything, changing order, speed, method, trying anything that might break the pattern. Elevator, stairs, even walking with my eyes closed. Testing every possible path I could imagine, but the result never changed. If my destination was 20, I always ended up back downstairs again. Eventually, I collapsed. Not suddenly, my legs weakened. I misstepped, and everything slipped away beneath me. When I opened my eyes again, I was downstairs. Same wind, same moment. Like time had reset. My suitcase was still in my hand, as if nothing at all had happened between attempts. This time I didn't rush upstairs. Instead, I called my mom through video, needing confirmation. First, she answered quickly, smiling, saying the deed was ready, just waiting for us to come home. I told her I was downstairs, but couldn't get up, couldn't reach the apartment no matter what. Her screen froze briefly, then the call dropped completely, cutting off before she could respond again. When I tried calling back, it wouldn't connect. Like something had already blocked that line entirely. I stared at my phone for a few seconds, then stopped trying. Already sensing something wasn't right, I entered the elevator again, this time pressing 19 instead of 20, testing a different approach. The elevator moved normally, doors opened, and I stepped into a completely normal 19th floor corridor. Clean hallway, clear numbers, steady lights. Nothing felt wrong. Nothing hinted at any abnormality whatsoever. I walked to the window, looked down. The height matched. This definitely wasn't the ground floor. That was when I realized the entire building wasn't broken. Something else was controlling only my access. I returned to the elevator, pressed 20 again, watching carefully for any irregularity during the transition. The movement from 19 to 20 was smooth. No sound, no flicker, nothing suspicious at all. The doors opened, and once again I stood back on the ground floor. Like before, this time I didn't freeze. I stepped out immediately and checked everything around me again carefully. The door, the wind, the ground, every detail identical to the very first moment I arrived. A thought slowly formed in my mind. Not that I couldn't reach it, but someone wouldn't let me. My brother called, sounding normal, even concerned, asking where I was. Since they said I arrived, I didn't explain, just said I was still downstairs, keeping my voice steady and controlled. My best friend laughed beside him, telling me to stop pretending. Like this was some joke. I said I really couldn't get up. But she laughed harder, saying I must be overworked. I didn't respond again. I simply hung up, already realizing they wouldn't believe anything I said standing by the street. I suddenly thought of something simple. If I failed, maybe someone else. Wouldn't I order delivery? Set the address to 2001, and waited for the driver to arrive quickly. When he came, I told him I couldn't find the unit, asking him to guide me upstairs. He didn't question anything, just entered the elevator, pressed 20, and stood there casually waiting. The elevator rose, doors opened, and this time I was finally standing on the 20th floor. The door, the decorations, the shoe cabinet, everything exactly matched what I had seen before. My heart raced, but I didn't move. I waited, watching to see if it would disappear again. The delivery guy handed me the food, helped with my luggage, then left without noticing anything strange. I stayed there, still not knocking, just standing quietly, letting seconds pass without making a move. Then I turned slightly, just a small movement, nothing significant. Nothing that should change anything. When I turned back, everything was gone. No door, no hallway, no lights. Nothing remained at all. I was back downstairs again, still holding the food, as if the entire moment had been erased. I looked at the receipt, 2001 clearly printed, proof that what I saw had been real. That was when I realized it wasn't about space. It was about the moment of confirmation itself. My phone rang again. My mom's voice, anxious, saying I had already entered the apartment earlier. She said she saw me, even walked me in. Then suddenly I disappeared right in front of her. I didn't speak, just stood there. Everything finally connecting clearly inside my mind all at once. It wasn't that I couldn't reach it. Every time I did, I was replaced. At that exact moment, my brother took the phone. His tone different now, asking where I actually was right now. I said I was on the 20th floor, and there was a brief silence on his end. It was short, but I heard him swallow, the same habit he had whenever he lied. At that moment, I knew for sure everything I suspected had already been true from the beginning. I didn't go back again. Instead, I checked into a hotel, choosing the highest suite available. It cost $238,888 for one night, not out of anger, but because I needed a clear perspective. The next day, I called all of them over, made them stand by the window facing that building from one side. It looked like a normal 20-floor structure. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious at all. Then I led them to the other side, told them to look again carefully at the structure. Someone froze first, saying something was wrong, that the building didn't match what it should be. The building extended downward beyond expectation, revealing a central platform with 20 floors above and below. The first time I pressed 20, I reached the middle platform, not the true top level. All they needed was control over the elevator, combined with lighting and slight sensory manipulation. That was enough to trap me between the ground floor and that platform in an endless loop. I played the video, one continuous shot, no edits, no cuts, everything recorded clearly from start to end. No one spoke. My brother finally said it was AI. My friend claimed I had gone insane. I didn't argue. I simply asked my cousin to check. She worked in professional verification and analysis. She watched carefully, her face slowly turning pale, before confirming there was no sign of manipulation. That moment, everyone fell silent, and I turned to my parents, asking if they wanted to explain. They said nothing, so I did it myself, laying out everything they had carefully arranged beforehand. They never lived on the 20th floor. They lived on 21, hidden above everything I saw. They designed everything so I could never truly arrive. No matter how early I returned home, that way I would never count as arriving first, and the house would naturally go to my brother. He rushed forward, finally dropping the act, saying once I'm married, the house wouldn't belong to me. He said I took their name, not the property. Like that justified everything. They had done. My father spoke quietly, saying I would have my own home someday. Like that solved everything. My mother avoided my eyes, only telling me not to make a scene in front of everyone. At that moment, I wasn't angry. I was clear, completely clear about everything. For the first time, I took out my phone, made one call, and cut off every partnership connected to my brother. He received calls immediately, his face turning pale as reality finally hit him without any warning. He spoke, but I didn't listen. I simply said one sentence before ending everything. Completely, you always thought I couldn't get it, so keep believing that, and live with it. I hung up, walked out of the hotel, stepped into sunlight, leaving everything behind without hesitation. I never returned to that building again, not because I couldn't, but because I finally understood that door had never been meant for me from the very beginning. Not even once.